Line up the front and back pieces so that all edges match and right sides are together. Pin in place. Sew along the sides and bottom with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Remember to backstitch 2 to 4 times at the beginning and the end, and to pivot with the needle still in the fabric at each corner, a 1/2 inch from the edge. Near a bottom corner, pinch and pull the front and back pieces apart and line up the bottom sew line and the side sew line so that they are directly on top of each other. I usually match them as good as I can by feeling through the fabric and then test that the two seams are exactly on top of each other by piercing one sew line with a pin and seeing if it comes out on the other sew line on the other side. Once they are lined up nicely, pin in place and lay flat. Use a clear ruler to mark a line from one fold to another. This line should be the length of whatever you want the bottom to be and centered along the sew line. For example, if you are making a 4-inch bottom, one edge of the ruler should be on one fold, the 4-inch mark should be at the other fold, and the 2-inch mark should run along the sew line. Sew along the marked line, remembering to backstitch 2 to 4 times at the beginning and the end. Repeat this step for the other corner, then sew together the other front and back pieces and sew those corners in the same way. Once both sets of front and back pieces are complete, turn the main piece so that right sides are in and the lining piece so that right sides are out. Place the lining inside the main piece and pin in place. Right sides should be facing each other and the side seams should line up. If there seems to be a lot of wrinkles and extra material in the lining, you can take it out and re-sew some of the lining seams, using a slightly larger seam allowance. If you do this, it's okay if your new lines curve a little bit and ease into existing sew lines, but be careful to do so gradually. Once you're happy with the fit, sew along the top edge of the bag with a 1-inch seam allowance, leaving a 2 to 6 inch gap. Once sewn, pull the bag through that 2 to 6 inch gap so that right sides are out. Push the completed lining into the bag and press the top edge neat. The main piece should roll out slightly into the lining so that a small bit can be seen from the inside, but from the outside you don't see any of the lining creeping over. I like to pin or clip this in place, then sew along the top edge one more time with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Congratulations, your bag is complete.